And TROUBLECAUSERS came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you
that everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then TROUBLECAUSERS came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambox, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw was also severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then TROUBLECAUSERS came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambox, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw was also severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then TROUBLECAUSERS came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambox, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw was also severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then TROUBLECAUSERS came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Can't hear you, Simba.
Oh, can you hear me, Wilbert? Am I seeing this correctly, Wilbert? This is the ZANU PF spokesperson speaking and announcing that he's going to work with trouble causers. And this is a compilation of his own statements since the 2018 elections up to yesterday. What are you hearing?
I think we are going to have a repeat of 2018, Simba, to be quite honest. In fact, that has already been happening. I'm sure you're familiar with some of the videos and audio recordings of ZANU PF members posting that they have revived the party cell system, and that people are being asked to attend these cell meetings at least once a week, where a register is kept. You really have got to ask, why are we going back into this? Why is it that people have got to attend these cell meetings? And he explains it later on that those who do not attend, the party will be looking at those cell registers, and if you don't attend, you'll be in trouble. You know, so we really are looking at a situation here where this time, what I foresee myself is a situation where the party, ZANU PF, is going to use the same tactics of intimidation and want of violence, but they will be very careful to make sure that they do not leave the evidence. Right now,
but they've already left the evidence now. They've already started dropping the evidence.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think right now the level of evidence we have seen so far is nothing, Simba, in my opinion, compared to the kind of level of evidence if there should be the need for a runoff. Because what they are saying is we are going to flog march people, particularly in the rural areas, to go and vote for ZANU PF. They've also got the voters' roll in such a way that their party supporters will be able to vote multiple times. But the opposition supporters, many of them who are attending all these rallies, I can tell you, if somebody was keeping a record, this will be confirmed. You'll find most of those people attending these rallies, when they come to the day of voting, they'll not be able to vote. They'll never find their name on the voters' roll. Voters' roll has been deliberately shuffled up. You know, it's no longer a situation where, yes, you're in a constituency and your name, you can go and vote at any polling station. It's now by polling station. And the polling stations are such that they keep on being increased and shuffled up and so forth. Most people will find the polling station that they voted last time, either it has closed or there is still there, but their name is not on that one. It has been moved to another one. For what reason? They have not been told. They will never be told. It will not be surprising if somebody was keeping the record to find out in a household with, say, 4 voters. They may find that each one of those 4, if they're going to vote, their name is on a different voters' roll, polling station. Why would you have people from the same address all of a sudden find they've got to go to 4 different polling stations? one 2 kilometers away, another one 4 kilometers away in the opposite direction, another one somewhere else, and so forth. That is part and parcel of the vote rigging. I think this election is so bad that it is really ridiculous that we are going through the same motion, not for a result that we already know. That is what I find so disappointing about it, Simba.
Right. Now, Wilbert, when it comes to, you see what Chris Muchanga makes clear here. Do you feel that the opposition understands what is at stake here? Do you feel that the opposition are listening to what you are hearing of Muchanga?
I don't think they are, Simba. The thing that most people are forgetting here is that the opposition have abandoned the whole ethos of we want free, fair, and credible elections. If MDC truly wanted free, fair, and credible elections, they had the opportunity to implement the democratic reforms. This I can never get tired of saying, because it is true. They had the golden opportunity during the GNU to do so. For whatever reasons, they were made to believe by ZANU PF that they did not need reforms. They could still win the elections because they are so popular. And they believed that lie. And ever since, they've been stuck with it. And now they cannot even shake it off. They've got to keep that pretext. I mean, you listen to, I've seen a number of speeches on Zimai and reports on Zimai of the opposition posting that they're winning these elections, that they have plugged all the loopholes of ZANU PF rigging the elections. This is unfortunately the spin they've got to maintain, even in the face of a situation where you can see they've not closed or plugged all those holes. And Mutsangwa is posting here that the troublemakers, who are the troublemakers? You know, even that commission post-election in 2018 established that the soldiers exceeded the need. There was no need for them to use so much violence. And I think if the government had gone on to actually punish those people that you were showing in the video clip there, the soldiers, that would have given confidence in saying, well, the regime is serious about making sure that there's no violence. But they were never punished, you know. And now Mutsangwa is telling us the soldiers were killing the troublemakers. How, okay, some of the people who were on the street, they were violent. But even then, was it really necessary to fire them with live bullets? The answer has got to be no. But that, unfortunately, is what happened.
Right. What must be done?
I don't know, Simba. I think you and me know we are talking to ourselves. You know, you warned the opposition that this level of violence was going to happen. We need to implement reforms. They just ignored you. Right now, it has been shown that the voters' roll that is available. You know, ZEC was very late in issuing it, and issued it in a format that I can tell you that I believe that format, that voters' roll that has been made available, is not the voters' roll, the copy of the voters' roll that is going to be used on voting day. It has been one that has been cleaned up, or they made an effort to clean it up. But even then, we found they found so many blatant errors that makes the whole electoral process a joke. But they will never be cleaned up. The opposition will still continue to participate in this. The main problem we have, I think, Simba, is that we've got an opposition that really will participate no matter what.
You know, Wilbert, have you looked at the preps that civil society has done here? I'm talking about civil societies like just citizens, not Nelson Chamisa's party, but civil society, obviously, predominantly supporting Nelson Chamisa's party. How they have they've mapped polling stations. They've begun a process of mapping polling stations. They're funding polling stations. There's all this, even the whole entire monitoring and auditing of the voters' roll here, and how much pressure that they are pushing. Don't you think, people are? It's not the opposition. It's the people who are saying we don't care how much ZANU PF does what. If it means, because they're going to have their way anyway. So Isusu, we're just going to push and increase as much pressure until, even if they use brutality. But we're going to have to fight even if this is our last breath. Kungo fighter, Kungo pusher, give them maximum pressure, maximum embarrassment, so that even if they were to rig, Wilbert, it will be, the stakes will be too high. It will be too, it's like they're increasing. What are your views? Have you really seen what these folks are doing? Because I checked, like what Vana Pachelu and the like are doing, Wilbert. I want to say, I'm being frank, I felt impressed by the determination to do something different.
Oh yeah, I've been one who've been who is on record praising Team Pachelu. They've done an excellent job, but I think it's not for Team Pachelu to say to the opposition, "Do not participate in these elections." All they can do is say, "This is the evidence. If you go into this election with all these errors, it's really impossible to see how you can possibly win." It's not for the international observer teams to tell the opposition, "Do not participate in these elections." Even SADC itself, except in 2013, that's when they said the elections should be postponed. Ever since, they've used the diplomatic language. They will never say to you, "You cannot go into these elections without reforms." Or they're saying, "We recommend that you implement the reforms so that the playing field is even." But if you still decide that you're still going to go into the elections, that is your decision. We are not going to say to you, "Don't do it." For the simple reason that they know that is a more confrontational attitude. Because if you tell somebody don't do it and they don't do it, and they still go ahead, your relationship is spoiled forever. So you can say, I only recommend that you should consider this A, B, C, D, but the decision is yours. And whatever decision you make, I'll respect it. The international community will never say, "Do not participate." That is a fact. The same applies to Team Pachelu. I think there was maybe one or two occasions when Team Pachelu tried to hint on that without processing this, I don't see how we can have free, fair, and credible elections. But they've never, if my memory serves me right, they've never ever said, "Do not go into these elections without reforms." It's not for them to say it, And when they were denied the voters' roll so that they could verify it. One of the arguments that ZANU PF was using was that Tim Pachedi is not a stakeholder. The opposition are the stakeholders. And what could Tim Pachedi say? They do not have a political party that is contesting for any of the seats. But they are an interesting party in the sense that they are Zimbabweans who are genuinely interested in getting the country out of this mess. We can't keep on having flawed elections, rigged elections, 43 years after independence in this day and age. That is what is so outrageous about this situation. In 4 weeks' time, I've got a feeling that we'll be talking of the opposition complaining that the elections were rigged. And yet they're the ones who are maintaining that we are winning. We are going to win big. We've closed all the holes, the loopholes that ZANU PF uses to rig elections. Once they say that, it really deflates you. You know, you can't argue with them. Okay, maybe they know something that I don't. Particularly if you're an outsider. You know, you have made your point and clearly they're not willing to listen to it. And there's no point in you pretending you could convince them. You'll never convince them.
I apologize, my system got stuck there. You know, quickly, someone is asking a question here and saying, look, are we not going to have a repeat of 2018? Right. But I also want to say quickly, Wilbert, here. In 3 days' time, there's an article coming up. Justice Luke Malaba and a group of other judges, High Court and Supreme Court judges, are going to be meeting at a hotel that is owned by one of Emmerson Mnangagwa's sisters in Gweru. It's a lodge. Sorry, it's not a hotel, it's a lodge. They're meeting at a lodge. As a lodge with a small capacity for their annual symposium. But the location is Emmerson Mnangagwa's sister's lodge ahead of the 2023 elections.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I've confirmed this. It's going to be in the news in a few hours or so, 1 or 2 hours time.
Okay.
So Zimbabweans are going to get into the 2023 elections under a judicial system that has met at Emmerson Mnangagwa's sister's lodge. Any significance, or I'm clutching on straws?
Well, I mean, if you wanted something that is even more significant, remember on the 6th of June, all judges were paid $400,000 a housing loan, we were told. And then 2 weeks later, there was the nomination court sitting, and those judges have been involved, deeply involved with the whole electoral system. A few weeks before that, CIO directors were paid $230,000, tax-free. Another housing loan. I mean, you know, Zimbabwe, we have got to be realistic here. We all know what it is. We all know that was a bribe. The judiciary is very important in making sure that ZANU PF wins these elections. The regime did not want the judiciary to start dishing out judgments condemning, say, for instance, some of the wanton violence and sending some of the ZANU PF supporters to jail and deflate the regime's well-orchestrated system of intimidation. And so that is what is happening. And so this meeting at the lodge would not come as a surprise to me at all, you know. And I wouldn't be surprised that they don't even pay the bill. That is how the system has become.
It's just a symposium, Wilbert. Just a symposium, an annual symposium.
Yeah, but you know, the evidence there. Ordinarily, if it was here in UK, for instance, you probably not read much into it. But in a country like Zimbabwe, where everybody knows that all these state institutions are ZANU PF departments in all but name. You know.
Wilbert, I just want to quickly replay this video so that maybe we can kind of end as we zoom into it once again, because I know there's some people who joined in here a bit late.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambox, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw was also the severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambox, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw was also the severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations with the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting,
is it me who is
and
locked
after
off?
the vote. Remember, in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs.
I apologize. Can you hear me,
We are going
Wilbert?
to work hard with our illustrious ZDF.
think the system is stuck somewhere. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. The system was stuck there, and I was also getting calls from Dr. Mavaza. I was hoping that he was going to come in. Someone is saying, "Ma wan shem wakomana unu unu ngava sadar anzivanu ngava sadar." Yeah, I'm wondering, Wubit, just maybe as we end, what do you think Chris Mutsvangwa is going to say as a defense from this video?
Well,
You know, this video compiles his speeches, Wilbert, since 2018, since 2017, up to today, right? Over both elections, the 2018 and the 2023 elections. What do you think is going to be his defense?
Well, I think from the short clip that he's saying there, he's saying we want to make sure that the elections are peaceful and so forth. But this is typical of ZANU PF. You know, they insist the elections are going to be free, fair, and credible and peaceful, and yet at the same time, the violence is there, is happening, it's on the street. People are being shot and being killed, and they are called the troublemakers. You know, what trouble do they cause?
We've got Dr. Mavaza here. Maybe let's hear from Dr. Mavaza. Let's give him 2 minutes to respond. Dr. Mavaza, here is the ZANU PF spokesperson making a speech yesterday at a press conference, and his speeches have been combined, the one in 2018, 2017, 2018, over the 2018 elections, and the one for 2023. And he's clearly stating there, loudly stating, that we're going to use trouble causers. So we're going to work hard with trouble causers and then achieve a margin greater than the one we did in 1980. Is this not criminal?
No, it's just a matter of semantics. What Comrade Mtsvangwa is saying is very clear. He said we are going to work with trouble causers. It does not mean we are going to use them. We are going to work with them so that they will not cause trouble. We are going to be peaceful. He's simply telling you that we are going to make sure the trouble causers have been dealt with and they won't cause trouble. So there is no criminality in the statement by Comrade Mtsvangwa. It is actually an assurance that we are going to win at a very higher margin than the one we won in 1980. And the rallies which are going through the whole of Zimbabwe can show that ZANU PF is the game and is the only party in town. We are having thousands of people just coming to listen to the great man speaking to them, the president of Zimbabwe. So if you look at that, you realize that the Comrade Mtsvangwa is simply telling you that there will be no violence, the election will be peaceful, we will work with trouble causers. We are not going to close anybody down. If you're a trouble causer, come to us. We'll teach you to live the trouble. And if you want to listen the plans for future, listen to the greatest speaker we have, the President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa.
Wow. Wilbert, over to you.
Well, I think that is what we have always learned to expect from ZANU PF. You know, these elections, to be quite honest, Simba, I honestly don't see why we 43 years after independence, we are still failing to hold free, fair, and credible elections. These elections are already marred with violence, with
Dr. Mavaza, yes, saying, look, they're going to be free and fair. Where are you coming from?
I'm actually surprised that Wilbert can open his two lips and say things like that. The elections will be very free and fair, and he knows that. At the moment, this is the most free election we've ever seen. The violence we had, and as I have said, and I'll repeat it slowly, we have seen some C people claiming that they've been assaulted by ZANU PF members. But we have realized at the end of the day that they've got the pattern of beating up themselves and they pretend that they've been beaten by ZANU PF. And that is very surprising. It makes us angry that they are trying to put a picture of violence in order to mar and put our election into shame. Zimbabwe is the most peaceful country we have so far, and ZANU PF is the most peaceful party in the world. So these elections are going to be won by the peaceful party, which is called ZANU PF. No matter what type of action and acting Triple C will do, putting tomato sauce and claim that they've been beaten up and beating up themselves and crying, that doesn't help. We are going to win these elections peacefully, and we are going to show the world that we are the ones who fought for democracy. ZANU PF fought for peace. ZANU PF fought for one man, one vote. So they cannot destroy their legacy by a vote we know we are winning already. There's always been free and fair elections. I'm so disappointed with Wilbert when he says that the elections will not be free and fair. Are you a prophet? They are already free. They are already fair. And we've got 28 days to go. And in those days, I can tell you, Wilbert, you will see what is called peace. You will see what is called ZANU PF, the most and the only peaceful party we have in Zimbabwe. We cannot be compared to the violent Triple C. Ask BT was beaten up by Changrai's thugs, and he jumped in Changrai's car for protection. Ask Chamisa. He was beaten at the airport by MDC thugs, which he was a member. And now you ask Triple C, they've got what they call field marshals who move around beating up people. But ZANU PF is so peaceful, does not react. You beat us one cheek, we give you the other cheek. We can beat you thoroughly in the elections, not violently, but with a pen. And this is what ZANU PF stands for. It stands for peace. So what I can simply say, Wilbert, change your mind, go and vote for ZANU PF. That's the only party we have. And to all Zimbabweans listening now, I will tell you again, if you want peace, vote for a peaceful party, ZANU PF. And these elections will show the world the example of what is called peace and what is called ZANU PF. ZANU PF stands for peace. And Comrade MUTSVANGWA was clearly telling you we will work with trouble causers. He does not say he will use trouble causers. Work with is different from use. And work with means we work them to be peaceful. We work them to be an example to the world. So this is what everybody wants to do. If you know of any trouble causer, bring him to ZANU PF. We work with him, make him very soft, make him a better person, and vote for the country. And vote for the country you need to be. That is Zimbabwe. If you want to smile in the next 30 days, vote for ZANU PF. That's all I can say. And Wilbert, please stop demonizing our party. This is the only party we have and which we can call ours. And Zimbabwe is the only country we can call ours in the whole world. Stop demonizing it, please.
Yeah, it's a pity that we seem to be talking the same language, where what is happening on the ground is denied, flatly denied. We have got people who have been beaten up, who have been brutalized. The level of violence this time and in 2018, 2013 was never, it never reached the point of 2008, where even SADC could not stomach it. You know, but that is one of the things about ZANU PF. I think they've learned from 2008 that if they're going to do the beating, they need to make sure that they do that either way before the elections or after the elections. The violence in 2018 happened after the voting was done. That's when the shooting took place, to shoot people who were, okay, some of the people, I totally agree that they were using violence or burning things, but did it warrant using live bullets? Even the clip we have seen there, the judges, the people who were the commissioners, say that there was excessive violence used to stop the demonstrations, and those people who were involved should be punished, and they have never been punished. You know, and here we are being told by somebody that ZANU PF is the most peaceful party in the world. You know, I think it's an insult to the victims of the intimidation and the killings over all these years, ZANU PF has always been a part of violence. We have never had free, fair, and credible elections in Zimbabwe since 1980. So it's tragic that 43 years after independence, we're still waiting for people to have a meaningful, free, fair, and credible election. I think that, to me, is what is so disappointing about Zimbabwe.
I think, in conclusion, your obsession against ZANU PF is alarming. It is knee-shaking, and it is really surprising. But I can tell you, Wilbert, that you know very well that ZANU PF does not engineer violence. ZANU PF is the most peaceful party, and I've told you that if you have seen anybody brutalized, he has brutalized himself, because ZANU PF is not capable of violence. It has never been a violent party. And I was commenting on the statement by a Comrade MUTSVANGWA. Comrade Chris MUTSVANGWA had said clearly, we are working with trouble causers, meaning we are working with them to make them good people. So if you agree with me, then we go to the next point. The elections are coming. You have seen several rallies by CCC, and they finished very well, no violence, no fighting, nothing. But when they leave their rally, then they start going around insulting people, singing songs to insult the president of a country. Then you will see that these are people who are out to provoke the violence. But they are surprised because they are provoking an angel. We just look at them and smile. We are the party of peace. We are the prayerful party. We pray for these people. So if you see them injured or running or anything, they are acting. Those are called CCC. They are actors. ZANU PF does not act. And as I conclude, Simba and Wilbert, please do not go around demonizing your country. Do not do that. We are going to have peaceful elections. Why are you out there telling the world that ZANU PF is not peaceful? Why are you saying all this? It is not right, Wilbert. This is the worst thing you can say. You must, at this stage, promote peace. What I can say as I conclude, when we go out for campaign, the man you see in the street is your brother. Do not fight him. When you go there, whether he's in yellow and he's in green, whether he's CCC or he's not, do not fight him. Fight him in the ballot box. Violence is not for this year. We are now in 2023. We should be talking of peace. And you, Wilbert, you should be promoting peace. I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself when you talk of violence. You must be promoting peace. I'm actually angered by the vomit you thrash out there and say ZANU PF is a violent party. This is very disappointing from you, because ZANU PF is not violent. We must, you and me, join our hands, urge our people to be peaceful out there. We need ZANU PF to be very peaceful. We need ZANU PF to be very reasonable. That's what we do. We are ZANU PF. But we need Zimbabweans now, our people, to be one. When you fight, Wilbert, after the elections, there is a life. We still have a life beyond the elections. So don't fight your brothers. Don't beat up anybody. And don't beat yourself up either, UCCCs. Come together. Let's love our country, love our party. And I will say to you, vote ZANU PF, vote Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa. And that's the only way to have more peace in Zimbabwe. Because if you vote for CCC, you're voting for trouble. You're voting for I don't know what. So vote for what you know. Vote for those who have experience of running a country. And this is ZANU PF. And this is my prayer, and this is my call to Zimbabweans all over. Let us be peaceful. Forget about what Wilbert is saying. Go out there. Peace starts with you and ends with you. If you don't become peaceful, there will be no peaceful elections. So you have to be peaceful. When peace starts with you, it ends with you, that there will be no violence. And remember, the party which is yours is ZANU PF. And this is my prayer to you. Vote ZANU PF, vote Comrade Mnangagwa, and together we will build Zimbabwe. Nyika inowakwa nevayo. Brick by brick, we will get there. Thank you, Simba, and thank you,
Wow. Well,
Comrade.
Dr. Mafaza, thank you very much for your closing remarks there. Wilbert, we're going to need to shut, right? And maybe we can shut with the video of Comrade Mutsvangwa here, the compilation of his statements. And I'm going to read a few comments.
Something there,
Yes.
Simba, before
Yes,
you
Wilbert.
go. Yeah, I think it is important that we should really learn to respect other people, you know, and when
Maybe
you start
make it 1 minute. Try to make it 1 minute. Move it as
Sure,
just as we
yeah,
thank
no,
you.
I will. I think when you start saying that people are beating themselves up, I think this is totally disrespectful of the victims of the violence. This is the state machinery that is supposed to have to protect the people, and it's the one that is inflicting the violence. People were killed, and to say those people killed themselves is ridiculous, you know. And in this particular case, I think this is one of the tragedies when you've got a regime that has become so powerful that it can say anything it likes and think they can get away with it. The truth of the matter is we have got an election and it's already flawed. And I hope that there will be no serious violence. So far, nobody has been killed, but I wouldn't put it beyond the system there to have people seriously injured and even some of them killed. That is not a free, fair, and credible election we are having in Zimbabwe. That is a fact.
Wow. Gents, we're going to need to shut. We've got a few comments here. I'm just going to read. Someone says here, I see ZANU PF winning big. And ZANU PF will winner. Got you, as she's saying there. And when someone says, Anzi, these are just 45-degree mafias. Farai Vute says, Kuno mune fesi ne humari kwedu yedu fesi nde kurakasha. Akuti uti tasa amukomana mavazangava dzoke Zimbabwe vadzidze shona zvakanaka vaikanganwa please. Anjanzwisisi kuti ndeipi comment here. But quickly, we're going to shut, folks. Let's catch up in the news shortly. And we will be back. And here is the video of Comrade Mutsvangwa. Thank you.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations by the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambox, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw was also severely trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations by the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election, you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work out with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambuks, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw who was also severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations by the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.
Just 2 days after the nation went peacefully to vote, there is bloodshed and chaos.
Something which was planned well beforehand and it had to happen. So what was left was just maybe it happening or maybe justification per se. And soldiers were pursuing, following them with shambuks, beating up people. Some, because there's a lady I saw who was also severely and brutally trashed using a shampoo by a soldier. She was wanting handbags and paper bags. Maybe she was coming from shopping somewhere in the CBD.
Everybody will be happy with our elections. We are also happy with the preparations by the ZRP. They are determined to make sure that there is peace before, during voting, and after the vote. Remember in 2018, everything went well. Then trouble causers came after the vote.
Comrade President, we are pledging to you our support for the 2018 elections. That election you shall win on a magnitude bigger than the one which we did in 1980. We are going to work hard with our chiefs. We are going to work hard with our illustrious ZDF, the best army in the world.